If you're making a cake, be sure to use flour. Holy shit, it's time to be empowered. It's a brand new year, it's 2015, and to start a new year, I'm doing the podcast completely differently, because on my left, sat next to me, not over Skype, not over the internet, is the one and the only, Mr. Ashley Day.
Hello, Simon.
How you doing, Ash?
Here we are in
We're in Ash's house.
my bat cave.
Yeah. Which is amazing, because usually I do this stuff over Skype, and one of us, be it me or the person I'm Skyping with, sounds like a robot. But you're right here. It's nice. I mean, we are very cosy with each other.
I don't sound like a robot.
No, you don't. But you may sound like Batman at some point during this podcast.
Yorkshire robot, maybe.
A Yorkshire Batman. We could go with no, not for that. But obviously, you already know if you downloaded the episode or if you didn't look at any of the descriptions. You all know now. Today is it's the best episode so far. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the Batman episode. And Ashley Day
Hasn't even happened yet.
No, but you're a man very qualified to talk about Batman because you are about as obsessed with me as me, I think.
Well, I really want to be on your podcast, obviously.
You did as well, which is really nice. I really appreciate that.
I listened to every episode, and it was great.
Isn't that nice?
And I was like, what do I have in common with Simon Miller? Well, I think there's quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, but
we could have talked about heavy metal.
Do you want to do that? We'll do a heavy metal one down the line.
We'll do a heavy metal episode.
And it would just be me talking about Metallica and you talking about Iron Maiden and we'll have a fight.
Yeah, just talking about bands from Germany that no one else likes.
Oh yeah, we're going to do it in April, right? We're going to see Blind Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's on the record.
I'm excited about that. No, that'd be awesome.
We could have done Larry David.
Fuck, we should do all of these.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't thought about any of this. This is a really good idea.
Mutual hatred of other people.
We could do that too and then alienate everybody.
That's probably an underlying theme for any conversation.
Maybe we can do a Curb one. That was Seinfeld and Curb one and then the people we hate because that kind of ties in.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's such a good idea. That's not empowering. Oh, who gives a shit about that? No, but then Batman is the one.
But we are doing Batman. And you've turned up at my house with a laptop that's got Batman stenciled onto the top of it, and on the desktop wallpaper.
Oh, you noticed that, did you? I'm happy you noticed that. It makes me pleased. And that wasn't done just for this podcast, by the way. That is just my laptop setup, in case you're interested.
And I got a Batman T-shirt for Christmas from my mum.
I got a Batman T-shirt as well.
Yes.
So from my girlfriend. So together, we're kicking ass and taking names.
It's the same one.
I don't think so. Well, it could be. They're all the same, really.
It's on my washing line now.
All right, we'll go have a look.
We could go outside.
This is how we're starting it. We're going to talk about Batman merchandise. What is the weirdest Batman merchandise I've got? I don't think I've got anything that's that weird or that cool, really. I was once offered a Batarang from the set of Batman Returns, but I didn't trust the person selling it to me, so I didn't think it was legitimate. So I never, ever sort of proceeded. Who offered me that? Some guy, I didn't know him very well. He didn't seem trustworthy. Yeah, exactly. He just broke up with his wife, Tim Burton. Sad, isn't it?
Helena Bonham Voodoo.
Yeah. Yeah, that woman, they broke up. But
does that mean she won't be in every film that he makes now?
I guess not. Well, it has to be, otherwise the world will end. That's how it works. It's like an obsessive-compulsive disorder thing. And
just have to marry Johnny Depp.
Yeah, but Michael Keaton's back as well in Birdman, which comes out, I think, the same day as this will go live.
Oh, yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, so there we go. There's some Batman-related things, kind of.
You want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Let's keep dropping in little things. If you didn't get that reference, turn off now. I don't want you listening to this podcast, because that's... I mean, you think Michael Keaton's the best Batman, right? Is that you?
I might have said that.
I think you said it to me. I think we had an argument about it once. And I said I didn't want to push it too hard because I didn't want to talk down Michael Keaton.
Do you think Christian Bale is?
I think they're an equal pairing. I think they're the two out of everyone.
Simon, how can I possibly be the best Batman when you can't understand a word I'm saying?
Yeah, but I like it. Because he would... Right, we'll do this and then we'll get into other stuff. If you were Batman, and Batman is insane, I think we can both agree with that he's not...
Probably medically insane.
Medically
as
insane.
Dr. Chase Meridian would
We're talking
diagnose.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. But, I mean, so he would assume a silly voice or a different voice because in his head, they're two separate people.
Schizo.
Yeah, exactly. So that voice kind of sums up his mental state, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Fine.
Oh, I've won you over that quickly. I thought we were going to talk about it.
What about in The Dark Knight Rises where he's by himself talking to himself?
But that's okay because this is the thing.
In character.
No, but he just because Catwoman, you're talking about the scene with Catwoman, just because she leaves, in his mental state, he is still Batman. He doesn't switch between the two that quickly.
Method.
He's method, so he would talk like that. He would keep that voice alive. It would be weirder if he didn't, because that would actually be doing the character disservice. If you take Batman as to be this dual personality that he cannot control, which I do.
All right.
Yeah, so there you go.
By the way, the weirdest Batman thing I've got, you can kind of see in this room. You see that fan up there?
I'm getting excited. Yeah,
There's a little rubber toy Batman stuck into the middle of that Japanese fan on my wall.
That is quite cool. I thought you were going to say it's a prop for one of the movies.
No, it's a little rubber Batman that I found in the streets of Windsor on the floor on the actual 75th anniversary of Batman.
Really?
On the day.
I would have picked that up as well. I won't pick up pound coins, but I'll pick up miniature Batman. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, we are going to stick to the format, which obviously, if you've never listened before, it is personal, topical, and then newsy. But we're going to try and do it a bit more just as a chat. So it kind of works when you're doing it over Skype. If you're right here, I think we should just chat about Batman.
Yeah.
And I think we should be as topical as we can be. So as we've just chatted about, we should talk about Gotham. The series that has just finished. It finished 2 weeks ago, I think was the last episode.
Maybe I think it was the mid-season break.
Oh, is it mid? That explains it. Okay,
which everyone seems to do, and I don't know where that came from.
Because it comes back in April. Now, the general consensus I've got from going on the internet and such is that people aren't massively fond of Gotham. I think it's brilliant.
That would be an understatement. Well, this is going to be a theme for this topic as well, because I've picked 3 Batman topics that everybody seems to hate, and I love.
Yes. I can't remember what the third one is, but we'll get to it. But no, I think Gotham is fantastic. I think it took its time to find its sort of comfortable level, whatever you want to call it. But when it did, and when I accepted what it was trying to present, I look forward to it every week. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's better than I thought it was going to be.
I think it's really good, but then I do have quite a low standard when it comes to comic book adaptations.
Well, but there's nothing wrong with that, because it is, at the end of the day, a comic book adaptation. So you can't...
Yeah.
We haven't spoiled the last few years, especially with the Dark Knight trilogy. Oh, yeah. So I don't think you can then use that as a measuring stick for everything else that you're gonna watch. This is a TV series that airs weekly. You know, it's not a multi-million budget superhero extravaganza.
I'm not entirely sure what people expected, but if they expected a Batman origin show, they're probably quite disappointed, because it's not really that at all, is it? It's literally about Gotham.
Yeah.
And it's more of a GCPD.
Yeah, well, it's the focus is... Well, the thing is, the focus is on Commissioner Gordon. Well, he's not Commissioner Gordon, just Policeman Gordon. In this.
Yeah, Detective.
Detective Gordon. But he is just Batman. I mean,
he basically is.
He is Batman. He shows, won't kill anybody.
Yep.
He shows no fear. He's good to his core, but he has a dark edge to him where if he feels he's justified in his actions, he will do it for the greater good, which is Batman. And there's a lot of... I don't know if you noticed this as well. Maybe I just see things where there's not, but... This is a little tangent, but the thing I like about it the most is have you noticed how they get the bat symbol in all the time without actually getting the bat symbol in?
No.
Yeah, there's an amazing thing in the episode where, and we're getting hard, no one else does, this is hardcore Gotham talk. In the episode where Bruce decides that Alfred wants Alfred to teach him fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
He's under the water at one point. It's when, spoilers by the way,
yep.
When Catwoman's living with him. And when he's underwater, there's a shot, if you look at the shadow, it's bat symbol. And all the shit it does like that. And I love it. It does that a lot with Jim Gordon. He's running around the streets. There's a lot of kind of signatures to that kind of thing. I mean, it does have some stupid elements, but it's hard to call them stupid elements because it's a comic book adaptation. And if you read a comic book, that's all nonsense if you take it literally.
Yeah, I've heard people, like, one of the first villains they showed was this balloon man.
Well, that is the one I was going to talk about.
Who whisks people away on, like, helium-filled like party balloons. And everyone's complaining about that. But, like... It's Batman. This is what happens in Batman comics. This, it's been running for 75 years.
Exactly. There's Calendar Man, for example. If you want to find an alternative to that, that's not exactly the most in-depth character that comic books have ever come up with.
No, not at all. I've got no problem with a man who whisks people away on a balloon. That's brilliant.
I did think that was one of the wworst episodes, but not because it was whisking up in balloons, just because the best ones are the ones that tie into the overarching storyline. Which, interestingly enough, I mean... I would argue that Jim Gordon isn't the main character. The Penguin is the main guy. Like, everything revolves around him.
He's the most interesting and likeable character.
Yeah, and he grew on me as well. I didn't like him at first, but by the end, I was really kind of rooting for him and I was kind of behind him. And I liked his weird acting, which is not really acting. I don't really know what it is, but it was good.
He's got like a disturbing edge to him, and I like how like infatuated he is with Jim Gordon. There's like a scene in one of the early episodes where he goes home and he goes, "Mother, I think I've made a friend."
But the whole stuff with his mum is well weird. And maybe there's a comic I don't remember where it kind of touches on that, but it's almost incestuous. Like he's bathed her and stuff, and she's really protective of him, and it's really the whole thing with him is creepy. And the way you find out he's actually in cahoots with Falcone I thought that was all excellent. It was really well paced. It was really well revealed.
It feels like a real like potboiler. Like he is playing off all of these criminal empires against each other, and slowly but surely he'll be the one who rises to power in Gotham. I'm like really looking forward to seeing how that develops. Like as slowly as they want to do it. If they want to take 5 years to do that, and by the end of that 5 years, he's like Danny DeVito in Batman Returns, biting people's noses off. That's going to be amazing.
I'd be up for that as well. I don't think they need to rush it, and I don't think they should rush it because, I mean, the worry is, will they get cancelled? I'm sure that's always in the back of their minds with ratings and what do we have to do to spike it. But using Smallville as a comparison, you know, that the whole problem with that is they built forever to, when's Superman going to be Superman? And when he was Superman, it's like, this is a little bit disappointing. Whereas you don't want to make the same mistakes here by either rushing it or it taking too long. As long as the payoff works. And I think I prefer. So we've done half a season. I thought it was a whole season, but it's half a season.
I think it's
Gotham.
half. Yeah.
Half a season of Gotham is more interesting than 9 seasons of Smallville. That makes me think
I never liked Smallville.
No, I didn't.
But I was the wrong age for it at the time.
Oh, that's true.
As well, you know, I wasn't a kid. I was kind of a teenager, and when you're a teenager, you don't want to like anything.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I think the problem with it, if you watch the first few episodes, was it was very sort of ham-fisted with the way it introduced characters. It's like some guy would look at the camera and go, "Hey, it's the Riddler, whee!" But I think once they got past that and just accepted a bit of prior knowledge and the fact that you'd watched sort of the opening episodes, I like the way that the Enigma character kind of evolved. And
they've left space for him to develop as a character as well. At the moment, he's just kind of been... You know, he's this like lab assistant guy at the police station, and he likes riddles. Oh, he likes riddles because he's the Riddler.
And his name's Enigma.
But they've left plenty of room for him to develop and have his own story arc. They could do, you know, let's imagine that this season is the Penguin story. Next season could be the Riddler story.
Yeah.
You could just do a villain per season and give them 26 episodes to just flesh them out and give them a personality and actually like take the time to explain who these characters are.
Yeah,
which hasn't really been done in live action before.
No, they just accept it. They just paste it on the screen as this is an entity that has existed before you started watching this movie. Please accept it.
And they can do that because Batman's not in it. It's a Batman show without Batman.
Yeah.
So it gives an opportunity to put the spotlight on all kinds of different people.
Which it should do as well. It should do. I think it's important it does do that because... Let's face it, Gotham is a show for people that like Batman. And if you like Batman to that degree, obviously you want to see Batman, but we've had that. You can go watch the movies, or there's the animated series, or plenty. Just read a comic. But this is a live action way of getting introduced to characters that you've known for 10, 15, 20 years. But exactly, the spotlight's on them. The only one I don't like so far is Harvey Dent. But he hasn't really, again, it was his first episode. Yeah. They didn't really give him, there's no legs for him to grow. But it was a bit like... I have a temper problem. I mean, that's kind
I can't decide. Maybe I'll flip a coin.
That was a little bit... That went back to the ham-fisted nature of the original episodes. But again, they've introduced him now. So I expect... I don't think he'll be a regular, but I think as he comes into his own, they'll... Well, if they do like they've done with all the other ones. Even Catwoman, because like... When she moved into Wayne Manor, I thought it was too in my face. Like, oh, she's such a brat. But actually, the way that episode developed when they got kidnapped and they had to run away from Wayne Manor and stuff, I actually found myself... They very subtly kind of gave depth to that character that I hadn't seen previously without really throwing it in my face. It was very subtly done. And I actually thought, from that point on, I guess because Bruce warmed to her, and I like the guy playing Bruce Wayne, I think he does a really good job. I, as a viewer, then warmed to her as well, and, I thought it was really nice.
And there's a bit of tension there, because Alfred... at first doesn't like her, mistrusts her, and Alfred's a really interesting character.
He's very different to what we're used to. Yeah,
he's got this military background. He's suspicious of everyone. he's protective of Bruce Wayne, but to a fault, he almost like smothers him and doesn't want him to get out there in the world and experience things. So his character creates conflicts.
Yeah,
where. If he was like the elderly Alfred that you see in later Batman fiction, it would be so boring because he would literally just be serving, tea and cakes to a young Bruce Wayne, and there'd be no story there.
Yeah, exactly. But here he takes a very hands-on approach because he has to. He's his guardian, plus he's a youngish man. The only thing I did think was stupid when he just decided he was going to join the police force. And he did. Like Harvey and Goldman, like, I don't give a shit, you do whatever you want, I don't care. I thought that was a bit weird. But it worked. And it kind of, I say, brought into that whole father-son dynamic that then plays out as he grows up and stuff. But I do think the kid playing Bruce Wayne is excellent. I think he's really, really... And apparently, they wrote more scenes for him because he was so good. They were like, double his role.
Yeah, I get the feeling that he was originally just meant to be in the first episode and then you'd only see him every so often from there. But he's got a proper... story going now, and they're really exploring that idea of how does a young boy go from that to being Batman.
Yeah.
We've like in 75 years of Batman, we've never really seen that story.
No, it's true.
It always,
skips.
We've seen the murder of his parents in Crime Alley, in every single piece of Batman fiction. It's boring now. And then it skips forward to he's an adult. Even in Batman Begins, he's like 20.
Yeah, and he's finding himself as an adult though. Yeah, he's done his childhood.
Yeah, so this is an opportunity to tell a new story in one of the oldest, stories that there are.
And it works because they're not focusing on him. Like, what would he do? If the focus was on Bruce Wayne as a kid?
Yeah.
What would you? Oh, he's gone to the toilet. Like, you know what I mean? He's only going to do. So I think at that age and that development part of the character, you only need the hinting. So he wants to solve his own parents' case because he's consumed with it, and he wants to learn how to fight because he's getting bullied at school. Like, it's all these small things where you can easily go, well, that's a bit obvious, but it's fine. It's fine that it's obvious. A kid would want to learn to fight if he was being bullied at school.
Did you notice who the guy is bullying him at school?
Oh shit! No, I missed that. Who was it?
It's Hush.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh no! How did I miss that? What was the name?
So they call him. I think Thomas is his real name. They call him Thomas. Obviously in the comics they talk about how they were friends growing up at school, but we've never really seen that in the comics.
Oh man! See, this shit's good.
So like a fairly modern Batman villain who quickly became one of the most popular.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah.
He's never been in any of the films, any of the TV shows. They could now, shed some new light on it.
Oh, I missed that. See, this is the thing I don't understand. That is really subtly done. I missed on it, and I'm obsessed with Batman because I just didn't, at the time, put two and two together. When the Arkham games do it, Rocksteady have layered all that. Everyone goes, oh, brilliant, brilliant. But Gotham does it, and it's like, no one seems to care. I think a lot of people criticise that show well too soon.
Well, people are snobby about television as a
especially
whole,
now,
unless it's like HBO.
Well, it's true. And it has sort of sparked... television is. But then saying that, I mean, you've got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Flash, Green Arrow. There's probably some other ones I haven't seen. Gotham's better than all of them. I think so, anyway.
Arrow, I've watched the first two series of it, and I really like it, but it is kind of just Sunset Beach.
Yeah.
With superheroes. Like, why is everyone the most attractive person in the world in that one little city you've never heard of?
And it's always very self-contained. Each episode doesn't feel like... I know there is a thing they build to, but each one feels... It's like an episode of an 80s Miami drama, where it's like, oh, we've got to get this guy today. All right, let's get him. And they get him. And then next time we've got to get the other guy. Let's get him. Like, I don't feel there's a strong arc to I know there is one, but I think the Gotham one is a lot... The way they keep tying it back. And the way they kind of ended this, we'll call it the mid-season thing with, the mayor's involved, Falcone's involved. Obviously, Gordon's been sent to Arkham, so they can now get Arkham involved more. I just think it's... we haven't talked about Fish, which we'll get to in one...
Is she a new character?
I think so, but
I'm not aware of her.
I'm not. I'm sure somebody will know and will correct us if not. But I looked it up. I couldn't find anything. I don't know if they changed the name or it's supposed to be based on someone. But she is the only part of Gotham that I don't like. Because I know
I've got a part I don't like. We'll come on to that.
Okay, do you?
Yeah.
All right, okay. But I don't think she. I think the character and I think the idea of her is good. But as we'll talk about in a minute, Jada Pinkett Smith plays it like a Batman Forever villain, and that's the problem I have with it. Is I know the whole thing is campy, but that even her hair and her little nightclub that's all neon and stuff.
I think she's been designed to be a little bit annoying. And I honestly believe if they have created a new character with her, I think she's been created so that they have somebody they can kill off without really destroying the Batman fiction. Yeah. And what do penguins eat?
Fish.
Oh,
man, that's really... Oh, Ash, so clever.
Is it clever? Is it clever or is it really ham-fisted?
Well, I didn't pick up on it, so we'll go with clever. But you're right. I mean, that makes sense. I do want her to get her comeuppance because she's basically been an asshole from start to finish. Although my original take of it was I can't remember her name, but it was basically the pawn she sent to Falcone. I had a feeling that she'd wind up falling in love with Falcone and then killing Fish, but I don't know whether that will happen or not. But you're right. Actually, if she's expendable, then she serves a very good purpose because then Penguin can take over her empire and then grow. So what's the element you don't like?
Jim Gordon's wife or fiance or whatever she is.
Yes! Right, you go. But yeah, you're right. I hate that more.
Why does Jim Gordon have, like he's like an up-and-coming detective, but he's starting out in life. He will earn no money in Gotham. No money, especially when he's not willing to take any bribes or anything.
Yeah.
So why has he got like this supermodel Hollywood lesbian girlfriend?
Oh, the lesbianism.
And lives in like the best penthouse apartment I've seen in my life.
With an awesome clock.
Yeah.
That's a really good clock.
They live inside a clock.
Yeah, they do. They essentially do. I don't know. I mean, there's so many problems I have with that character. One, she nags him to let her into his world and then leaves him because of it, which made me so mad. I was like, he didn't want that. He's such a screw job. It's so mean. It really upset me. But also, what is with this lesbian shit?
Yeah.
It's so unnecessary.
What purpose does it serve in the story?
Other than they think, well, Dad's maybe watching. It's like, I don't, because it happens there. It happens with Fish all the time. There's this, like, that whole thing with Barbara Gordon and... she's not Barbara. They're not married yet, are they? So
no.
Whatever. Barbara lesbian.
You don't get a surname until you're married.
But when the fact that they put in place that she was going out with the MIT woman. I think it's MIT, though. I can't remember her name. But then the fact that in the final sort of closing season, she's in bed with her. It's like, I don't need lesbianism in my Batman
What
story.
does it add to the story?
Nothing. It makes no sense whatsoever.
He doesn't even seem to care.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. And also, the only way I can see that playing out is, Jim, I'm a lesbian again. All right, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Done. That's only there for some awful Blue-esque nonsense to be in. I hate it. I hate it. Get rid of it. Just don't do it anymore. But what have you got from it? From watching those two get it on? Apart from 2 minutes of screen time they could have cut out.
It's not like, they don't have the watershed time slot to be able to even do anything like titillating with it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even achieve that. And they end up together anyway, because we all know the story of Batman. You know that they have 2 children, and one of them's Batgirl.
Yeah.
All this. So it isn't even a will they, won't they situation.
Yeah, because
Will they get back together? Yes. We know they will, yes.
Yeah. So it's terrible. And her character in general is terrible. When she went back to try and talk to Falcone to get him out of trouble, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, you're such a nuisance. You're such a nuisance. Like, he had this sorted. He was doing badass stuff and you wrecked it. Yeah, I don't like Barbara Gordon at all. But then, I guess maybe I'm not supposed to. Maybe she is supposed to be a thorn in his side for a bit.
Maybe she's not Barbara Gordon. Maybe he moves on to a different Barbara.
Is her name Barbara?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know then. You're right.
There might be a second Barbara.
Maybe he goes out with the other lesbian. I don't know. Maybe he gets his feel that way. But yeah, I mean, the love story stuff is bad. I do want to mention before we move on, I do like his partner. I didn't like him at first, but he's really grown on me.
Oh, Harvey Bullock.
Harvey Bullock, yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, he's excellent. He's just, he kind of came across as, the generic corrupt cop that you kind of get, in all Batman
But he
stories.
does have his loyalties as well, and his loyalties swerve depending on what kind of pressures are under him.
Exactly. The way there's a great evolution of that character to the point where I didn't necessarily hate him, but I was like, oh, can't trust that guy, Jim, be careful. To the point now where I'm like, oh no, he'll help you out of a bind. Don't worry about it. He's a really dependable, loyal, fun sidekick character to have who can, the story where the goat killer came back.
Oh, yeah.
And, but that was cool because it kind of gave him more, he was helping his ex-partner, paying for his hospital bills and stuff. And it's just...
But it also showed this possibility to people like Bruce Wayne that you can have slightly strange people who adopt a different personality in order to achieve what they want to.
Exactly.
They keep foreshadowing all of this
stuff.
Yeah,
it worked really well and made me like him more as well. So it's like, okay, you've done a great job here. You'll get to this sort of mid-season point and I go, you've done a great job of not only introducing me to all the characters, but allowing me to decide who I like, who I don't like. And I like him. I like Gordon, obviously. I like the Penguin, which is weird. Never thought that would be the case.
Yeah.
And I like the Riddler. Not the Riddler yet. I like that guy.
I don't think we can end this topic until we talk about Joker.
Okay.
Do you think they should do the Joker or not? The correct answer is no, but go on.
Do I think... I don't really want to see the Joker in it because I don't see how they can ever do it justice. So I think it would just be something that grates. Yeah. But how can they not do the Joker would be my question.
It must be... writing that show and knowing what to do with the Joker must be the most difficult thing because you can't really do his origin story.
No,
the minute you tell the origin of the Joker, part of what makes him scary completely disappears. You demystify him.
They'll do something like he got abused as a kid or something like that, which it's not enough. It's terrible. Do you know what I mean? Like in your head, the thing you create in your head is always worse than the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think
I love the way they do it in Dark Knight, where he tells everyone a slightly different version.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
And none of them are true.
It's just nuts. It's just absolute. That was the best one. That's probably my favourite Joker origin story, really, just because he is Yeah, just absolutely off his rocker.
So, but they have been. I mean, you mentioned that they're putting these bat symbol references in.
Yeah.
I've noticed at least 2 Joker references.
Yeah, I've noticed a couple.
Early on, and I'm not sure if they've kept it going throughout every episode. Maybe some of them are more subtle. But I think the first episode, there was a guy on stage telling jokes at Fish Mooney's club.
Yep, that's true. Yeah.
The second episode, they're in GCPD and they call someone a clown.
Yeah, that's right. They do.
So that's it. Like, I think it'd be quite nice if they just keep doing things like that, like acknowledging that he's a part of this world, but
Not
just
showing
don't ever show him.
Who do you cast? I mean, who do you cast? I mean, where do you even start? I mean, that's the problem they've got with, which we'll also get to later, the Batman vs Superman movie. Who do they cast? He's got to be in the movie.
Yeah. Well, they've cast him for the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, it's I can't remember who the hell it is now.
Is it Jared Leto?
It's right. It is Jared. What the fuck? The 30. What's it called? That stupid band called 30 Second to Mars singer. That's what he is to me now. Wow. But then again, I said that about Heath Ledger and they proved me wrong. So maybe Jared Leto.
Yeah, and no one can be worse than Jack Nicholson.
I like Jack Nicholson.
I hate him. Fat old man Joker.
Yes, but I don't hate him. I think he worked to a certain degree. You'd take him if they did a Dark Knight Returns. They did an adaptation of that.
Would I?
I don't know. Would you?
No.
I'm asking. Just make Michael Keaton play both roles.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Yeah, let's get nuts.
What does it mean?
It means nothing. I'm not saying it's a great performance, but I think it works within the confines of that movie. I've always accepted it as just being fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger, obviously the best portrayal of the Joker.
Yeah, or Mark Hamill.
Okay.
Animated series.
I was talking about real time. Yeah, real time.
Real time.
Real time Batman. No, you're right. No, Mark Hamill's is very good as well. But then you have to get Kevin Conroy in the conversation. Batman,
fine.
he's really good as well. I'd put him above Val Kilmer and George Clooney. Of course I would. It's not even an argument. Of course I would. He's much better than those assholes. Is there anything else you want to say about Gotham? I've pretty much got my fill on it.
No. Let's see what happens in the second part of the series.
Well, it starts in April, doesn't it? Or something like March, April. That's a long time. So I'm excited to watch it again, which I think is a great sign. I think it's done really well. I do think they'll introduce the Joker in like season 2 or 3.
Well, I think it's working and it must be popular because they're talking about doing a Superman one. Have you heard this?
What, again?
They're talking about doing Krypton.
Oh, it's not even Metropolis. They're actually going to go
this
to...
would be weird. It would be Superman's grandfather,
I don't even know who
Jeff
that is.
L. or whatever.
Brian L.
Out there on Krypton, flying around on dragons or whatever, like the beginning of Man of Steel.
How do I feel about that?
Talking about, I don't know, the planet might blow up one day.
Okay. I think it all depends on casting. I'd rather it set in Metropolis. I'd rather see the day-to-day. With Superman...
Yeah, Metropolis would be cool, actually.
I think with Superman, though, you could have him as Superman. But just... Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm about to describe the adventures of Lois and Clark. but focus on Clark Kent rather than Superman. They've done that. Yeah, don't need to do that again. Okay, I take it back. Set it on Krypton.
Make Jimmy Olsen the main character.
That would be kind of good because then you could see Superman through somebody else's eyes.
Through a lens.
Nice. That's what they could call it, Superman through a lens. It'd be some weird, like, artsy Superman. I take it, you know. On the subject of Superman, I finished Injustice last night.
Oh.
I quite like it. I reviewed it back in the day, but I've completely forgotten anything about it. But I actually thought the story was stupid. It made no sense. But I did like the idea of an evil Superman. I know it's been done before, but I liked it in game form.
I should give it a chance. I own it.
Never
played it.
It's an adequate fighting game. You've got to learn it. Like all fighting games, I just didn't want to do that. I just wanted to get through the story. So I just mashed my way to victory. But it's good. It's solid. It's free on PS Plus at the moment. So there's your video game plug for this podcast. Not that I've been paid to do that, for the record. There's no payment been involved. Okay, we'll get to Batman vs Superman and Batfleck last. Because I know you want to talk about Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Now, we started talking about this a few weeks ago and then deliberately stopped because we said we were going to leave it for this podcast. So I'm not 100% sure on your stance on it. I think it's an abomination to mankind. Now, back in the day, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, that's basically my feeling on it.
Right.
So you said that you wanted me to talk about something personal.
Yes, I did.
So
I want you to empower yourself.
What is there? What is there in the 75 years of Batman history that no one really wants to talk about?
Those two movies.
But actually had like a big impact on my life. Batman Forever.
Well, that's true, actually.
When did it come out? 1995?
Yes.
So I was 13
me
when
too.
that came out.
No, wait, it's 12, shit.
Okay.
No, wait, it's 11. Anyway,
I don't mind what age you are. This is personal to me.
It's pointless. Keep going.
So yeah, I was 13 years old. Like I discovered comics maybe like 3 or 4 years beforehand.
Yeah,
loved it all.
Fresh.
I felt like I was living the dream at that point. Like, oh my God, there's a new Batman movie coming out. Brilliant. What a golden age we live in. Not anticipating what would happen like 20 years later when they make a new Marvel film every week.
Yeah, imagine that. It's crazy, isn't it? Anyway, you're right.
So I was very excited, and I saw it twice at the cinema.
Wow.
The second time I went to see it, obviously I had to ask for some money from my, I think it was my stepdad. I asked for some money to go to the cinema, and I lied about what film I was seeing because I didn't want him to know that I was blowing his money seeing Batman Forever for the second time.
Should have just told him. I'm a 30-year-old man. When did Batman The Dark Knight Rises come out 2 years ago? So I was 28 pretty much. I queued up at 8 in the morning to go watch that movie. I wanted to get the first show. Nothing wrong with that. Be proud of your Batman, love.
You didn't have to ask an adult for the money. You were an adult.
That's true. When I went to see Batman Begins, though, I did turn up in a Batman hat and a Batman shirt, and the woman that I was buying the ticket off at 9 o'clock in the morning did say, "Did Batman throw up on you?" And I was very offended. But anyway, keep going.
So, you have to put yourself into the mindset of a 13-year-old boy in 1995. Batman was the best thing in the world to me. He's still in the top 10. He's amazing. Jim Carrey. Oh my God, Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
I was excited about that time, yeah.
I was, at that time, I remember me and my mate at school trying to find out what Jim Carrey's address was so that we could write to him.
I loved you in The Mask.
And say, we're really looking forward to Ace Ventura 2.
Ace Ventura 2 is a great movie.
Nope.
Different podcast. We'll do a Jim Carrey podcast.
But I did, I loved Ace Ventura. I loved The Mask.
Yeah, me too.
I stupidly thought Cable Guy was rubbish when actually it's a work.
I was going to say Cable Guy's brilliant, yeah. I got scared then, Ash. My heart fluttered.
I was like Upside Down Man. That was my superpower in 1995. I liked everything that was rubbish and hated everything good.
Well, kids.
So I was hyped for Batman Forever. I couldn't be more excited. And it lived up to the hype. Obviously it didn't. Obviously it's rubbish.
But it lived up to the hype when you were 13, though.
Yeah,
and
it was just what I wanted at that time.
I don't want to use a pro wrestling analogy, but I will. But just because, I still watch pro wrestling now, obviously, and a lot of it I kind of poo-poo. Then I chat to sort of a friend who's got a kid or something, and their kid loves it. And I think, of course, pro wrestling is for children. It is for children. And Batman Forever, I think with the evidence that we have presented here, is for children. It's a children's movie.
Well, it must be. It's not for anyone else.
Well, exactly. So it's hard to say it's a bad movie, because I liked it as a kid. You liked it as a kid. So was it actually a successful Batman film because it achieved its purpose?
Well, did they recast Val Kilmer for the next one?
Yes.
No.
Oh, recast. Oh, sorry, I thought you meant they recast the role. Oh, sorry. No, okay, we'll start there. Val Kilmer. The problem with Val Kilmer as Batman is when the credits roll, it shouldn't say Val Kilmer Batman. It should say Val Kilmer played Val Kilmer, because he puts absolutely no effort into that. He just, whether he's Bruce Wayne or he's in the suit, he's the same fucking person.
This is the thing. Essentially anyone can play Batman because he's a suit and a script.
Okay.
So it's all in the costume and the script.
Yep.
And, the lighting and the direction, the action. So what the actor has to sell to you is Bruce Wayne. Can they create a believable Bruce Wayne?
Ash. I like that. That's good.
Was Val Kilmer a believable Bruce Wayne?
No, he wasn't a believable Batman. He failed that part.
He's barely a believable Val Kilmer.
Exactly, and he is Val Kilmer. No, because as Bruce Wayne, he comes across as, because Bruce Wayne and a bit needy.
He is. Well, it doesn't help that they've got this psychology subplot where he's going to see
just the bit
Nicole Kidman and
he breaks a door.
Oh my God,
the
horrible.
Bit when he goes as Batman to have sex with her, which drives me fucking nuts. What is that? And she goes, "Oh no, I'm in love with someone else," and it's Bruce Wayne. And he turns and he grins at the camera. It's it's a movie. You're not supposed to know you're in a movie. Who are you grinning at? That gets me so mad.
As Bruce Wayne, can you imagine trying to follow Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne?
Impossible. I think Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne's probably the best.
I don't think he gets enough praise for it. And obviously Tim Burton's direction really adds to it. But, the bit in the first film where he's on a date and with Kim Basinger, and they're at that ludicrously long dining table,
at each end.
And he's like, "Can you pass the salt?"
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I forgot that. That's so good. That is good.
Or stupidly hanging upside down in his bedroom, Michael Keaton, he brings that Beetlejuice factor to it.
You're right, it does, which everyone was against at the time.
This guy is insane.
Yeah.
He's totally insane, but he's got enough money to get away with being insane and can do what he wants.
Just enough sort of normality to keep him in the loop when he needs to be. He's got enough charm, enough kind of... Yeah.
He's kind of a psychopath.
Yes,
in those first two films. He is charming, but like he feels dangerous
I
at
agree.
the same time.
Yeah.
The bit in the first film where he meets the Joker face to face, and he's not Batman, he's Bruce Wayne, and he's got like the Clint Eastwood like tea tray down his shirt. You feel like he would happily like fight all of those guys without any of his weapons, without his anonymity. Like he just feels completely like off the edge. Brilliant. And Val Kilmer feels
bored.
Like
You're right.
Just there.
Yeah.
He's just there.
Payday. Just there to be an action figure once the movie comes out.
So, and I actually think Batman Forever might be the worst Batman movie.
See, you said this to me. I don't look. Batman Forever, I want to go through it a bit more specifically in a minute, but Batman Forever has its flaws. Like, it really, really does. But at least there is a coherent story that runs through the movie.
Okay, what's the story?
The story is that Riddler and Two-Face team up to steal Batman's brain. That is the story. And to keep his brain intact, he has a psychiatrist or whatever to keep his... I mean, that is the story.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. But at least I know what it is. Batman and Robin is... I don't... All I know is this. When Alicia Silverstone becomes Batman, imagine that, becomes Batgirl, George Clooney looks at her and in the most fucking tired way goes, "What's that?" And she goes, "Well, why can't I do it?" And he goes, "Yeah." And that's it. It's so lazy. And the part where they come around the corner at the end and it's all snowy, Batman comes around, I think in the Batmobile on the Batmobile, and then Batman comes around on the Batbike, and then Robin comes around on this fucking ice machine that has never been seen. It's just, it's awful. It's
brilliant. It's a work of genius. Here's my problem with Batman Forever in context of everything else. Batman and Robin fully commits to making Joel Schumacher's remake of the 1966 Batman. Like, it doesn't pull any punches. It tries to be as stupid as it possibly can.
Yes.
And it
back
succeeds.
Cards.
Oh, back credit card.
No, you can't like the back credit.
Brilliant.
Oh, don't leave home without it. Oh, I hate it.
I love it.
I hate it.
I could watch Batman and Robin over and over again. I think it's fantastic. Honestly, I do.
Okay.
Arnie.
No.
Arnie was born to do one-liners.
Look,
and he's got more in that film than anything
Arnold
else.
Schwarzenegger is the highlight of that movie because he doesn't give a shit. You give me $20 million, fine, I'll do it, and I'll do it funny as well. But Poison Ivy is terrible. Batman is terrible. Batgirl is terrible.
But
Chris O'Donnell's Robin is
to be terrible.
Alfred is on the verge of death, so he can't act. Like, he's the oldest man ever in that movie. But is it trying to be terrible? Is it? I don't know.
See, Alfred is one of the biggest problems with this because it's the same actor through all four films.
Yes,
I think this is why people have got a problem because there's him and there's I think the guy who plays Commissioner Gordon is in all four of them.
True. Yes, that's correct.
So you're expected to believe that
terrible Commissioner Gordon, by the way, throughout all those
rubbish.
4 movies. Yeah, terrible.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
You're expected to believe that all 4 of these films are taking place within the same continuity.
Yes. Well, yeah, you must be because it's the same Alfred. Yes.
But go from Tim Burton's Batman to Batman and Robin.
Completely different.
The tone is completely different. Gotham is like covered in neon and spray paint by the end of it,
and developed for action figures.
Yeah, just like that is the biggest problem with it. I think if you take Batman and Robin on its own merits and think of it as a spiritual remake of Batman 1966, it does that brilliantly. Whether you want it to do that or not is a matter of personal
this is my problem. I
taste.
don't like Batman 1966. I don't like that version of Batman. I just don't. That to me is not Batman. Batman is dark and edgy and broody and all that kind of stuff.
I think Batman has the flexibility to be funny.
Well, yes. I mean, I have watched episodes of the 1960s. Well, I watched it all, and I think it's entertaining. I always say, if only it was someone else other than Batman. If only anyone else, just Aquaman or something.
Aquaman. He can only be funny.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I mean, I can sit through Batman Forever now. I don't enjoy it, but I can't get through Batman and Robin. Especially, who plays Poison Ivy in Batman and Robin? I can't remember her name.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman is terrible in that film. She's terrible. Yeah. I mean, terrible.
She is.
She should be fired from acting. Why is that not a thing? Like, you did a bad job, you're fired from acting. That should be a thing. But that's the problem. I mean, Alicia Silverstone, it's like she can't be asked. And it makes me mad. It's like, stop fucking up. Like, just don't toy with my beloved Batman. I don't know.
The thing with Batman Forever is that, unlike Batman and Robin, it doesn't commit to that idea.
No, you're right, it doesn't.
Being an all-out stupid comedy that you're not meant to take seriously.
No, that's true. It does have moments where because it has all the flashbacks with him running to the grave and stuff.
It's like it's it's got one foot in Schumacher and another foot in Burton.
Okay, I take
your
point.
It doesn't do either of those things particularly well. So it's just I think it's aged worse than all of the others because of that. Like, it doesn't have a proper identity as a film.
Yeah.
But there are bits that are laughably bad. Like, one of my favourite bits
Forever.
is
Oh yeah.
It's the first live action film to have Robin in it.
Oh, I hate Robin.
And
for the record, I hate Robin. In any Nightwing, I don't give a shit. I hate them all.
I think Robin can be done well.
Okay.
But maybe we'll come on to that.
All right.
But how, Bruce Wayne, obviously, in that film, he doesn't want a Robin. He's like, why would I want a kid sidekick? Stupid.
Yes.
And Alfred, kind of manipulates it and makes it happen. Why is Alfred convinced? What is the scene that convinces Alfred that this guy could be Batman's sidekick?
Is it when he jumps down the stairs?
No, it's when he's doing his laundry. He's doing his laundry and he's twirling his wet trousers around and slapping them against his legs to wring them dry. That's not an efficient way of doing your laundry. That doesn't make you a good crime fighter. None of this is good.
So
why are you doing it?
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
If you caught a man doing that in your basement, you'd throw him out. You'd get rid of him.
Yeah, it's such a good... I've never thought of it like that. It's embarrassing. When you think about it in those terms, some old man watching some young dude slapping his laundry and goes, he can fight crime. I'm going to support him in his endeavour. I'm going to make him a suit. Oh, dear. Well,
nonsense. It's nonsense.
It is nonsense, you're right. I mean, but that... I don't know. It's difficult to... It's shit. Batman Forever told me... Well, I mean, we mentioned Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Now, this is the thing. I love the idea because Jim Carrey in films such as Man on the Moon, I didn't like him in I don't like the film Eternal Spots, whatever it's called.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
But he's very good in it.
I think he's a good actor.
And the Truman Show, brilliant. Yeah. The problem with the Jim Carrey they got for Batman Forever is they said, turn it up, Jim. Turn it up. We want you to go...
Remember what you did in The Mask?
Yeah.
just do that.
But that's it, and that's not who the Riddler is. Whereas Jim Carrey actually could play that role. He has the acting skills and the energy to actually pull that off well.
But at least he made a choice to portray the actor in a way that was honest. It was honest to Jim Carrey.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Tommy Lee Jones.
Right, I'm going to get to this.
Jeez, I want to swear. I really want to swear.
You can swear. It's got explicit on iTunes. Fuck balls. There you go. Still, it's fine. It's got a big E next to it.
Fuck me, Tommy Lee Jones. What the fuck were you thinking? Why did you take that job? Because all he does is go, people like Jack Nicholson.
Oh, yeah, massively.
People love Jack Nicholson in that first one. I'll just copy that.
Yeah.
Well, even though it's a completely different character, I'll just do the same performance.
But that's the thing. Two-Face in that movie is the Joker. It's Jack Nicholson's Joker. And somehow... Jim Carrey's Riddler, even though he's only experiencing that role for the first time on stage, and he's just, I'm taking it in. Because when that scene when they're by the chair and they're talking about stealing Batman's brain, he starts giggling and doing that shoulder shit that Jim Carrey's been doing the whole movie. So why are you aping him? You're not the Riddler. It's terrible. It's a terrible.
What part of him is Two-Face? He doesn't have a split personality.
No, he's just an asshole. Oh, it's awful. That's the worst part. That is worse. The worst performance in all 6 of the movies. 7 of the movies. That's the worst.
Oh, including the Nolan ones.
Yes, that's the worst.
Which has no bad performances.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. The Dark Knight trilogy is perfect. I mean, it is. I know not a lot of people agree with me, but to me, I couldn't have asked for any more.
The first 2 Dark Knight films are great.
I love the last one. It made me cry.
The third one has Bane in it. Bane's brilliant.
Bane right, you brilliant. Like Bane? Okay,
yeah,
fine.
I don't like anything else in the film.
Okay.
But that's a different conversation for another time.
We'll do a Dark Knight podcast. We'll focus on that entirely because I got so much to say about that.
I think we should do a Batman Forever audio commentary.
Fuck, I'll do that. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, not today.
Not today.
I don't own it.
I own it. Right, that's in. That's happening. We'll give it 2 months. That's 8 weeks. A long time. We'll book a day. And why not? If no one watches it, gives a shit. We'll have so much fun doing that. And we'll just put it on YouTube. There we go. Done. Oh, man, I'm pumped. But yeah, Tommy Lee Jones is not... I mean, the way he dies as well, he dies going after his coin. He's not attached to the coin.
Yeah.
That's not... It's not
get
like...
another coin.
Yeah, exactly. He has... He can... Oh, it's so bad. It's like, I have to jump off this ledge or whatever the hell it is, down the mountain, because I need my magic coin. It's not a magic coin. It's just a coin. Oh, jeez.
And that character done well should be a man, with internal conflict.
Well, like Aaron... I thought Aaron Eckhart, is his name? Yeah, he played it well.
Yeah, the Two-Face in Dark Knight is criminally not in it enough for my liking.
I agree, but that almost helped the role though, because every time he was on screen,
he's almost a plot device.
You're right.
To take the story from one place
to
justify something else happening.
Yeah.
But he's brilliantly done. I think the effects and the makeup are amazing. I think the amount they concentrate on Harvey Dent beforehand justifies him not being in it very much at the end.
Yes.
Because they establish why you should care about this character changing. There's none of that in the old Batman movies. He's just there.
Yeah.
You don't. Technically, Harvey Dent is in the first Batman movie.
Oh yeah, he's Lando.
Yeah, he's Lando.
Oh, do you know do you know about that as well? He signed on to that movie and he looked at the script and he went, "This is not worthy of Star Wars," which is fair enough. You know, I'm a big deal. And they said, "Don't worry, because in Batman Returns, we're going to make a big deal out of." And they went, "No, we changed our minds." And you're out entirely.
Goodbye, Lando.
And he was supposed to be in Batman Forever as well, but they tossed him out.
He's also not in the new Star Wars film.
Poor Lando. Poor Lando. I can't remember his real name. How bad is that?
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. There we go. Didn't he do something bad? I don't know. I'm not going to slander the man. But no, I mean that is if we take it in those first four movies, the role of Harvey Two-Face is guy that stands behind Commissioner Gordon at Christmas things in Batman Returns. So I maybe have stated my story before. He thought he was going to be in Batman Forever. It's the big role. Standing behind two maniacal madman who's got something wrong with his face in Batman Forever. That's it. There is no... like you said, if we're taking continuity, why is it played by two different actors? I don't know why from a commercial point of view, but that needs to be explained. And then B, why? Because they never make... They hint at the start of Batman Forever that, he was such a good person.
There's like a flashback scene of him in court and someone throws like acid in his face or whatever in court. And like he protects the other side of his face with a piece of paper.
Oh my gosh, he does. Oh, that movie's so bad. The movie's an abomination. Do you know what else I hate about that movie? The Batmobile. It's the first time the Batmobile started to get too cartoonized for my liking and became this silly...
a toy.
Like a toy. Well, surprise. But yeah, I mean, Tommy Lee Jones is the worst thing about all those movies put together. He's worse than George Clooney. He's on par with Alicia Silverstone. She's terrible.
How do I rank the people I hate?
That's it, right? I mean, we could talk about Nicole Kidman as, was it Meridian Chase?
Dr. Chase Meridian.
Okay, Chase Meridian.
Brilliant.
I mean, she's just been told to be Kim Basinger, I think, or Basinger, whatever her name is. That's what she feels like. She feels like, well, you look a bit like her. Do you want to just kind of play the same role?
And she comes across as like the most unprofessional medical professional.
She's nymphomaniac.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah.
She seems to just be in it to get with Bruce Wayne / Batman. Like, she's not actually doing a job.
She is.
Which would make her a great Harley Quinn.
Well, Harley Quinn's never been in any of the movies. I find that fascinating.
She's going to be in Suicide Squad.
Is she? Who got cast?
It's the girl from Wolf of Wall Street, if you've seen that.
His wife?
Yeah.
Really? It's quite good casting, actually.
And she's in an episode of Arrow.
Oh, really? As Harley Quinn?
Yeah. It's like a tiny cameo role where they go to recruit Deadshot for some scheme that they've got. And she's like, you don't see her, you just see the silhouette of her face with the like pigtails up in a bunch.
I'll go watch that.
She's like looking through the door of like a cell. And you hear her talk, and she kind of sounds like the animated series version.
Oh man, how have I missed that? Okay,
you
I'll
probably
check that out.
Find like 5 seconds of it on YouTube, and that'll be enough.
I'll do it right now. No, I'm not. There's someone else got cast in Suicide Squad. A big name. I can't remember who it was. Not Vin Diesel, but someone like that.
Oh, they've cast Lex Luthor, I think.
Have they? I can't remember.
Well,
let's not guess names, but yeah, that'd be interesting to see.
I'm not really sure about.
No, well, Jared Leto. Yeah. But no, I mean, Batman Forever is Nicole Kidman in that movie is just bad. It's just really, 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 really bad.
There is one good thing about that film, though.
No, the U2 soundtrack is terrible too.
I was going to say the soundtrack.
No, it's terrible. U2 are awful. The only thing
Seal.
that makes I thought it's Batman Returns.
No, Seal, Kiss from a Rose.
Is that Forever?
That's Batman Forever.
Maybe I just want to associate Returns.
I
bought
like
that
movie.
Oh no, that's so did I. But the U2 song, the only thing
Hold
that
me,
could
thrill me, kiss me, kill me.
Oh,
what's wrong with that sentiment?
It makes no sense. The only thing that could make a Batman feel worse is Bono being involved. And what do you know? They did it. But I mean, I still don't think it's the worst one because I think Batman and Robin is terrible. But then again, Arnold Schwarzenegger does provide a lot of comic relief, which I do enjoy. Whereas now I can't watch Batman Forever because there's nothing to take out of it. Val Kilmer's bad. Robin turns up. Chris O'Donnell is terrible. We haven't mentioned that. He's a terrible Robin.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
But he's awful in everything.
I don't mean that.
No, he is a terrible person.
A bad actor.
As an actor, he's a terrible person because he comes across as a spoiled little teenager, and not in a good way. Not in a... Well, that's never a good thing. But you know what I mean? He just comes across as... I don't hate him because I'm meant to hate him. I hate him because I want him off my screen. Like, you're not entertaining me in any way. You're just pissing me off. He's a not brooding. He's just a little shit. That's all he is. That lives in Bruce Wayne's house and doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah, just moves in and is resentful of this man who's taken him in, steals his motorbikes.
Oh, I just remember.
Does sloppy laundry.
Don't forget the scene as well where Harvey, we're going to call him Tommy Lee Jones, he's not Two-Face, where Tommy Lee Jones stands up and says, I'm going to kill everyone in this circus unless Batman stands up and reveals himself. And Val Kilmer is there. Just stands up and
does
goes,
nothing.
I'm Batman. Well, he just stood there, stand up, I'm Batman. What are you doing? If you're going to do it, commit, you idiot. Anyway, do you want to sing else about? I can't talk about it anymore. It's depressing me just thinking about it. If Joel Schumacher listens to this podcast, very unlikely, you're an asshole. I've got no problem saying that.
I'm sure he's a lovely man.
Maybe.
He doesn't understand Batman.
What else has Joel Schumacher made? Did he make Armageddon? Is that a Joel Schumacher? Is that a Michael Bay movie? I get confused.
Yeah, I get confused between Schumacher, Michael Bay, Jerry Bruckheimer.
Oh, yes, shit, I do now. I think Jerry Bruckheimer is Armageddon. I think they're all the same.
Did Joel Schumacher work on The Matrix?
No idea. We could do a podcast about that as well.
I think he might have... I don't know.
We can do a podcast in diminishing returns, and it can be all about The Matrix.
Who is Joel Schumacher?
He's a guy with long hair. That's all I know.
Is he a Formula One driver?
No. That's Michael Schumacher. He's not dead. Okay. Well, the other problem we have, Ash, is we are coming out of the Dark Knight run of films. And The Dark Knight Rises, if you compare that movie to those two movies, is a lot better, obviously. At least it's a real Batman film.
The natural point at which to come out from those films is for the kid from Third Rock from the Sun to become Batman, right?
Yes.
That's what we all agreed on
at
the end of Dark Knight Rises.
That's what we've all decided. And also for that to launch his career that he's going to be in every film ever made ever.
He's Robin, but he's not really Robin because it's actually just his name.
Yeah.
He's going to find... the Batcave,
and
without any training or motivation, he's just going to become Batman.
He did get trained. He got taught how to throw grenades,
how to stop using a gun.
Did get anyway, those three films, I think we can all agree, are at least better than those. You know, they are real. It's a really good, strong trilogy.
Agree that.
Now we're coming out of that. Nolan, I will not put up with this, but Nolan's no, he's not. Nolan has no say over Batman vs Superman. None. He may be producing it, but
I think he's getting the money.
Yes, exactly. So we're coming out of that, and we have a rebirth because we're taking Man of Steel and we're pushing that into Batman. That's the next Batman film we're getting. Then 2 years later, after that, we'll get a proper Batman film, quote unquote. Now, the problem we have is the man playing Batman is Ben Affleck.
Wow. Well,
I hate Ben Affleck. I hate Ben Affleck. Now, here's my problem. Everyone goes, but he's really good actor. He's really good actor. He's won Oscars.
Who's that voice?
I don't know who that is. But that's what they say. He's a really good actor.
Is that Matt Damon's voice?
Yeah, exactly. He's my best mate and he's won Oscars. But the point being, that does not make you a good Batman. Just because you acted well in Fargo doesn't mean then you can just make it's such a simple...
But isn't the mark of a good actor that they can play anything?
Yes. But that doesn't mean... well, no, he's a good actor, but I don't think he's necessarily showed great range in the roles that he's played. He's really good in Good Will Hunting. There you go. He's really good in that. He's good in Fargo. He's good in The Town.
Fargo?
Is not a film called Fargo? Am I getting it wrong? No, not Fargo. I'm thinking of... Is it called Fargo? The movie he was in that he directed as well. Last year, 2 years ago. Have I got the names confused?
Fargo's the 1990s Coen Brothers crime movie in the snow.
Of that? Oh yeah, it is as well. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway.
I'm not sure what you're thinking of.
I can Google it.
He directed The Town.
Yeah, The Town is
Gone
good.
Baby Gone.
Gone Baby Gone is good as well, actually, to be fair. All right, look, I'm actually literally going on my phone. This is terrible. This is terrible, terrible podcasting. I'm not even going to edit out. I'm going to keep it out and hope... Right, Ben Affleck, movies. Argo, not Fargo. I put an F on it. There you go. Argo.
Easily confused.
Yeah. But he's good in that. But my point is, I would say that there is a connection between those roles. It is kind of Ben Affleck. He doesn't really... Oh my gosh, what a transformation. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad Batman. I didn't think Heath Ledger would be a good Joker. So I'm always willing to put my hands up and say, I was wrong. I was a proper sort of stupid fanboy. Got how dare they? I probably would have gone, oh, you can't make Michael Keaton Batman at the time. Like, I get it. So I'm willing, if he comes along, does a great performance, to put my hands up and go, wonderful. But I do not think he was the best choice to play Batman.
Well, I think I've got a lot of problems with Batman versus Superman. I've got
too many characters for one.
Nothing but problems with it. But the one thing I don't have a problem with is Ben Affleck. Okay. Weirdly,
no, it's fine.
And I know I'm like swimming against the tide on that one because everyone hates him. But I think a lot of the dislike for him comes from what's actually quite a long time ago now, about 20 years ago. Like
Daredevil.
They're thinking of Daredevil, which is unfortunate. I think that could have been great. They're thinking of Daredevil, thinking of the Moon movie.
The Moon movie? What was that?
The one where they blow up the moon.
Armageddon?
Yeah.
No, I like Armageddon.
It's rubbish.
Ben Affleck is good in Armageddon. That movie is terrific. It's so bad it goes full circle and comes back round.
No, that's Batman and Robin.
Oh, well, maybe. He's in that film with his wife as well, J-Lo.
All of that. There was a point in his life where his celebrity became a bigger thing than his acting ability. So I think there are a lot of people who they know they don't like him, but they haven't actually watched him in any films for a long time. People are right. The stuff he's done recently, which he's had more creative control over, has been fantastic. And I think I heard that the guy who he writes with for those movies, he's brought in to look at the script for Batman vs Superman. So that's potentially quite a reassuring thing. So I don't trust anyone else working on that film.
Who's directing it? It's Singer.
It's Zack Snyder.
That's right. Sorry, the Superman, Man of Steel.
I hated Man of Steel.
I enjoyed it, but not necessarily because it was good. That sounds a bit weird. I just enjoyed it as
just because it's Superman.
Yeah, pretty much.
On your cinema screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. It's got a lot of problems, and it doesn't feel true to the character. Like Superman came across as a bit of an asshole.
Yes.
And let his father die for what reason exactly?
That scene I hated because it made no sense. It was just like, no, you would soup in, didn't we say that? But you would soup in and you would save your dad. I mean, you're so quick, you could do it without anyone noticing.
You'd worry about the consequences later.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that.
Just do it. And that's what Superman should always do the right thing.
Yeah.
Letting your dad die. Letting Kevin Costner die.
Yeah, exactly. Now he's out.
That is not the right thing. So I think they got Superman wrong. And I'm scared that they'll get Batman wrong. I really am. So Zack Snyder, he's done some things that I like. I quite like Watchmen, even though everyone seems to hate it.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I don't know why I paused then, but I haven't seen it, so I have no opinion. But yeah,
I think it's a decent film, but I can kind of understand why people don't like it. But that's a very long conversation.
Yeah.
And then who else is involved?
Wonder Woman's in it. Do you mean like that, or do you mean behind the scenes?
Well, just behind the scenes.
Oh, right.
I think.
Well,
David Goyer is writing.
Yeah, but then he did Dark Knight stuff.
Blade movies.
Yes, he's done a lot of bad. But also, I think Nolan's brother, Jonathan, he's writing, is helping with some bits of it. And he does write good scripts.
He is good.
Yes.
Actually, Christopher Nolan, who for me has done some great films and some bad films, he's always better when he works with Jonathan Nolan.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
So that's reassuring. But yeah, all of these characters, can that film support all of these characters being introduced at the same time?
No, I mean it can't. I mean that's the problem because you've obviously got Superman. Then you've got to work in Batman. Not only do you have to work in Batman, it's a new Batman, so we have to accept that. Then you have to find and work out what the conflict between Batman and Superman is and how they're going to resolve it. Then Wonder Woman's going to turn up. Obviously, Lex Luthor's in it.
Yeah. Apparently, they're doing Robin as well.
Oh no!
For the Kerry Kelly Robin from Dark Knight Returns.
No, just no. I hate him. But there's other people in
her.
Well, her. Well, yeah, good point. But there's somebody else in it as well who I can't remember. Anyway, it's overcrowded.
It's too much.
What they're doing is he is in it. Yeah, he's the guy from Game of Thrones and Conan.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name, but
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa. Yeah. The problem they have, what they're doing is they're laying the foundations because they're watching Avengers make all the money. Go, right, we got to lay the.
But they're rushing it.
But they're putting in the wrong movie. They're doing the Justice League in 2016 or whatever. Just introduce them then, because what they feel like they need to do is because the Marvel films had your, what do you call it? I can't remember, what the hell is Samuel L. Jackson's name?
Nick Fury.
How can I forget that? That's terrible. That's like comic book 101. Because they were smart and introduced it over time, DC now feel like they have to just throw it, they have to get their Nick Fury moments all in one movie, and they're choosing Batman versus Superman to do it of all movies.
Well,
It's a terrible idea.
The other problem they have is that Man of Steel feels like it was never designed to be part of a wider universe.
I agree.
So how do they introduce all of these characters to what is essentially a Man of Steel sequel and make it work?
I don't think they can.
Like Superman was in the first film, this unbelievable godlike entity that had come out of nowhere, and everyone's shocked and surprised. What happens when there's 10 of them? Is it like how do you even write that? I don't know.
I do like Henry Cavill as Superman though. If the look for nothing else, I think he looks good, which is always a big thing with me and Superman.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not massively. Okay, but I don't think they can do it successfully because I think they have to introduce too much in a movie that cannot be longer than 2 hours. It's just not possible to do without it feeling rushed, convoluted, and not have a set story.
But that publicity photograph they released of sad Ben Affleck as sad Batman, that to me looked great.
Well, that's because it looked like Frank Miller Batman.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants to see. They just want to see the dark, broody, almost like overweight Batman.
Yeah,
like the complete opposite of all the Batmans we've seen so far.
But I would love that for being introduced to a Batman movie with Ben Affleck. I would just rather than having to try and because let's say they're kind of doing a Dark Knight Returns kind of vibe where he's a little bit older, a little bit wiser, but also a bit more broken. How do you establish all of that while establishing why Superman is here, while establishing why they're getting on, why they're falling out, while establishing why Wonder Woman turns up? I don't understand that. You could have to do that in about 30 minutes at the start of the movie.
But the big theory is that actually all of these other people have existed in this world for a long time, and it's Superman who's the newcomer. So the prevailing theory is that the events of Man of Steel have happened.
What was Batman doing during all of this?
Well, he's seen it happen, and this will be the film that shows how those characters react to Superman arriving on the scene.
So, like over dinner.
Well, it's Batman versus Superman, not Batman dates Superman.
No, but I mean, the Wonder Woman, Batman, and Catwoman or something will have a dinner saying, "You see what that Superman? We're going to have to go and sort him out. He doesn't understand the superhero
Yeah, they might
lore.
be up in the Justice League headquarters in space.
You want to invite him? Oh, you're on the moon. Oh no, we're going to have to introduce that at some point. Superman's moon base.
Like, obviously, one of the problems with Man of Steel was that, Superman, he won the day as you would expect, but he did it by. Snapping
Literally
a guy's
snaps his neck
and trashing this city that he supposedly lives in. Just like leveling most of it.
I didn't mind that.
I mind probably killing a lot of innocent people.
I mind it from a Superman point of view, but I enjoyed it on the movie sense.
Yeah, but it's getting Superman wrong again.
Yeah, I agree.
And I do like the idea that Bruce Wayne / Batman would have seen this and gone, right, I need to go sort this guy out.
That's true.
Yeah, I've been superheroing for 20 years. This isn't on. I don't like this new kid on the block. I don't care if he's from space.
I'm from Gotham, damn it.
Yeah.
As well,
I grew up on the mean streets.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to show him what it's all about.
Yeah.
I like that idea, and it tackles a lot of the problems that I had with that first film. So it'd be a neat solution.
True, but then why does an Amazonian woman turn up?
I don't know.
What? Why does the Amazon go, "You want to get involved? Yeah, let's get involved." It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
But that movie lives and dies on Ben Affleck's performance because Christian Bale played it very well, and we can't go back to having bad Batman. We just can't now. The bar has been raised too high, and it's already been dropped before. Michael Keaton raised it, everyone else dropped it.
I think it'll be a different performance to Christian Bale. That the Dark Knight trilogy was very much rooted in telling the origin of Batman. It literally started with Batman Begins, and just a few little missions after that.
Yeah.
And it was set in a very plausible universe where it's acknowledged that you couldn't really get away with being Batman for a long time, so he naturally retires after just a couple of years.
Very realistic, yeah.
Yeah, as realistic as you can get. But I do get the feeling Affleck's going to be playing an older Batman who's been around the block a few times.
Yeah, a little bit rugged. He's not rugged, restless.
Yeah, very experienced, but that experience is tempered by age, so his ability isn't quite what it was before.
Yeah,
that's an interesting role to have to play, and it's very different to the role that Christian Bale had to play, who was basically an angry young man.
Yes.
So, and I think it's not a complicated role to play. I think Ben Affleck is more than capable of it.
I hope so.
The question is, can he make himself likable?
Yeah.
Are you going to like Bruce Wayne in this movie?
I don't know if you can. I don't know. My answer to all this is I don't know.
Or are you supposed to? Maybe you're supposed to root for Superman.
There's no way that's happening.
Maybe Batman's an asshole.
No way. If they do that, wrestling analogy, if they make Superman the face and they make Batman the heel, I'll walk out of that movie. I'll throw popcorn at the screen and I'll walk out of that movie.
Or do you think they're going to make friends at the end?
Of course they'll make friends. Because this movie, 100%, no matter what happens, this movie will end with Justice League coming 2000. This is out 2016 now, isn't it? They pushed it back again.
Yeah.
So this movie will end with Justice League coming next year, 2017. 100%. You'll have Superman, you'll have Batman, you'll have Wonder Woman, Aquaman will be there. Who else is going to turn up in the Justice League? Green Lantern probably make an appearance somehow. I don't know.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
He's not. He's Deadpool now. He's given up his Green Lantern ways. He's officially Deadpool, so he can't be both. He's got to pick one.
That's a shame.
I hate him. Awful. That's worse than Ben Affleck. Is fucking Ryan Reynolds being involved. I want it to be good. I really, really, really do, because if they balls this concept up, it will be really just upsetting. Having a Superman and Batman in the same movie we should be excited about that. We should be pumped.
It's a creative risk because they are putting all of their super eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
So if this film fails, it potentially kills any chance of us seeing a Wonder Woman movie or a Flash movie or anything else.
Which they need. They have to have, because they have to compete with Marvel, in their eyes especially. They can't not get a piece of that pie.
If it's tonally the same as Man of Steel, you're looking at an entire movie universe that's not that much fun.
Yeah. But Marvel is all fun.
People don't really want to be going to see a movie where they know it's just going to be quite depressing.
But the Dark Knight films were depressing. They made that work. Yeah. But I know what you mean. When you're introducing more characters, you can't keep it that straight-laced when you've got a man who is superhuman, a man that dresses as a bat, an Amazonian princess or whatever, and a guy that rides a shark into battle. You have to have some sense of tongue-in-cheek. You have to, otherwise it's going to be too silly and you're not going to be able to take it seriously. You have to Joss Whedon it and accept that we know it's silly, but just buy into it for 2 hours and you'll have a great time.
Are they capable of doing all that in one film?
No, not now. I mean, Marvel built up to it. It wasn't.
Yeah. That was their stroke of genius. Is that they took the time to give every character their own film,
and they dropped the ball a lot as well. Iron Man 2 is not a good movie. I don't think it's a good movie anyway.
The Incredible Hulk is bad.
No, but they learned from it. They learned, right, don't do it like that. That doesn't work. And then when they kind of had all this momentum, they went, right, pull the trigger now. They could get the Hulk now. I don't think they're not going to make a Hulk film, or am I making that up? I thought they decided not to because it doesn't work.
They've announced their slate of releases up until the end of 2019, and there are no Hulk movies.
That's good, because he should always be a peripheral character, because he doesn't have enough depth as a main character. And never fucking get what's-his-face to play him. What's his name?
Fight Club.
Yeah. What's his name? Ed Norton. Yeah. Ed Norton is the Hulk. Unbelievable. I think Eric Bana was all right. Is that his name? Eric Bana? No, that's the. I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it was Eric Bana in the old Ang Lee Hulk movie.
He was right in that. That's all right. Yeah. The movie wasn't great, but he was okay. Anyway, I don't know. We'll find out. We've got 2 years to wait. Oh no, this is 2015 now. Year to wait.
Is it next year?
It's 2016, right?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, we're recording this in 2014, but it's 2015 in 2 days. I may put this up early. Who knows? I don't know, Ash. I don't fucking do my flicks in my pants. Well, this is the longest podcast I've done so far.
Really?
But I could still keep talking about Batman, which means we have to get back together and talk about Dark Knight.
Yep.
Because there's so much to do there. We should talk about the graphic novels, because we should do that.
Yeah, it's ludicrous that we've spent all this time talking about Batman without mentioning A, the comics, or B, anything good.
Well, Gotham's good. And also, we will do, one day, we'll just get 2 hours and we'll do an audio commentary for Batman forever. We'll do it. I don't really work as a podcast. I may just upload the audio anyway, and then I will do it as a YouTube thing as well.
People enjoy that.
I will literally put the movie on YouTube and see how long I can get away with it before it gets pulled.
Yeah, that's probably not going to work.
Well, what we can do is say you put it on in your house. You put it on in your house, and then just put us in your ears as we talk about.
You can upload the audio.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that. All right, so we will do that before my birthday, which is 2 months. I think that's a good
deadline.
That's a good deadline to do it. Is there anything else you want to say about Batman before we wrap up? Is there any sort of personal stories or highlights you have of the franchise in general? Have you kind of covered them all? We're done. I will tell 2 stories. One is a story about where I almost got a Batman tattoo on my back. I was literally outside the tattooist, and I was just going to get a giant bat symbol on my back.
You don't have any tattoos, do you?
No, none.
You're not a tattoo guy?
No, I'm not. But I was going to get a giant bat symbol, and the ears were going to be coming up on my neck. And I was going to get coloured all in black. I mean, that's just a terrible idea for a tattoo. But I was really close to getting that done. But I didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
No. But yeah. I can't remember the Batman story now.
Or you could have got it the bat symbol tattooed on your face, over your eyes, like the wrestler Sting.
I could have done that, yeah. I may do that, actually. That's pretty good. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm obsessed with Batman. You're obsessed with Batman. Therefore, we will revisit Batman some point in the future. Do you want to pimp anything out? We're on this. Do you want to pimp your Twitter handle out or anything you do? You don't have to. You can do anything you want.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. Do you call it a handle?
Yeah, your handle is at...
I don't want to call it a handle.
Okay, gamer tag. No, what? It's not a gamer tag.
Definitely not a gamer tag.
What's your Twitter name?
My Twitter name is Jelly Scare.
Jelly Scare. So literally JELLYSCARE.
That's right.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. Stop asking what it means. It doesn't mean anything.
But so if you want to talk to Ash about Batman or you don't agree with anything he says, you can tweet him and call him an asshole and he'll respond maybe.
Yeah, and if you want to hear more of me talking about Batman, I can't imagine why.
Don't say that. It's been good.
There is an old podcast that I used to do with a mutual friend of ours called Samuel
He's been on the podcast before.
Yeah. So
it's back on soon as well.
We did an old podcast that lasted maybe 17 episodes, which was reviewing a Batman comic called Batman Eternal. Mm-hmm. So we did the Batman Eternal podcast. This comic is meant to run for a year and still is doing. We were also meant to run for a year, but because we are the most disorganized people in the world, it stopped. So if you do enjoy that comic, you maybe go and listen to those early episodes.
They're like bite size as well, like 20 minutes and
stuff,
aren't they?
20 minutes each.
Yeah.
And we also, probably more relevant, is that we did 2 back-to-back anniversary specials for the 75th anniversary.
Very nice.
We talked about loads of comics, favourite comics. We talked about the films, we talked about the video games, TV series, the animated series. And we did a live reading of the very first appearance of Batman, and we reviewed that page by page, panel by panel.
Fucking hell.
So that's probably worth having a listen to. The Batman Eternal Companion Podcast.
The Batman Eternal Companion Podcast.
It's a catchy name.
It is. It's in my head. I'm not going to do it. On that note as well, we'll do video games at some point as well. Maybe we'll try and rope Sam in to do that as well.
Yeah,
three-way.
It's kind of difficult because I work for a video game company.
That's true.
But maybe there's some way we can do it. Just do retro games or something.
Well, I do want to talk about Batman Returns on SNES. Greatest game ever.
All right. Yeah, probably.
And the fact that on the Mega Drive it was completely different. It had Batmobile sections, but that's not for this this thing. But anyway, thank you for downloading this podcast. Like I said, there will be another one next week. It should be Star Wars next week as a little tease.
Oh, who are you getting for that?
Sam Roberts and David Lynch are coming on to Star Wars. You can come on as well if you want. We go for
I'll just listen.
Okay, but that should be next week, if not within 2, and I'll get someone else for next week. As always, if you want to say anything to me, it's at Simon Miller 316 on Twitter, or you can find me on YouTube as well. Just search for Simon Miller, and I should pop up. But in the meantime, thank you very much for downloading. Thank you very much for listening. If you've liked this, why don't you go to iTunes and leave a little rating and leave a little review, or tell a friend, tell 2 friends, let them. Do you feel empowered? By the way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks very much. See, you can empower people like Ash, empower yourselves. We'll be back in a week's time. Thank you very much.